Hello, thank you for joining us for another Facfo interview. My name is Laura D. Pusey. I am the founder of Facfo, and I would like to introduce you to one of our very special members of our global family who we're going to speak to today, and you will be hearing a lot more from in the future. My brother, will you please introduce yourself?
Hi. My name is Ntantla Pembe from South Africa, leader of Southern African Chamber of Undertakers.
Fantastic. Okay, so you are an undertaker in South Africa. Are there many of you over there?
Yes. There's a lot. There's a lot of us. Hey.
Okay.
Yes, I am an undertaker in South Africa, and there's a lot of us.
Fantastic. Okay, so the issue that we have over here in the UK is that we are disproportionately represented when it comes to funeral directors. And that was the reason why we created Facfo in the first place. Not only are we underrepresented, but I found that we have so little input into the funeral industry apart from through our funerals, for which we pay quite a lot. So I'm assuming that the opposite is true in South Africa. When it comes to the proportion of Black African funeral directors and white South African funeral directors, what is the ratio there and who tends to have the dominance?
Well, there's a lot of Black-owned funeral directors, but then the white-owned funeral parlors, they are more powerful than the Black ones. For simple reason, we have been disadvantaged before. We run small businesses while our white counterparts have been in this industry and they are well resourced and they have everything, which is the opposite to us, Black directors. You know, we share a lot of things, which is unheard of from our white counterparts. As a result, we always butt heads with the government because somehow the way we operate, it's kind of against the laws. But then we will challenge those laws because those laws, those are apartheid laws. Those are old laws from the old government and we're still using them now. So that's why we always challenge them.
How willing is the government to work with you to now modernize the new or any suggestions of laws and policies within South Africa?
The government is not helping the funeral industry in South Africa. We are busy right now negotiating with the government to fund the industry. I think we are the only industry which is not funded by the government. So we're trying to force them to fund our industry and improve it.
Okay. Indeed, you have found that you've got quite a lot of power though, because when it comes to death and the funeral industry, you have actually been on strikes before, haven't you, in order to force the hand of the government? How effective was that? And what challenges would you say that has also brought?
It was effective because we ended up agreeing, or they ended up agreeing to our demands, because we withheld our services as the industry. So there was no burials or body removals taking place. So all the government mortuaries were piling up with dead bodies because no private mortuaries were removing them, and only government employees were removing bodies. The mortuary guys from the government mortuary. It's only them who were removing bodies.
Okay, and did everybody go out on strike? Was that black and white South Africans?
Not everybody. Some white undertakers did not go on strike, but because they saw that we were serious, they ended up not coming like with us, but then they stopped servicing their customers as well until,
Okay.
yes.
Right. Okay. Okay. So, in this situation, the majority, which is yourselves, do
Yes.
hold sway over the minority, which is them, even though they may appear to have more dominance because they have more resources available to them.
Yes, yes. But then we, as black undertakers, we are not fighting white undertakers. We are fighting the government.
Yeah.
Our government, to level the playing field, because they have advantage over us. They have resources and we don't have.
Yeah.
So that is why we always challenge the rules to also accommodate us, because the rules don't accommodate us.
Okay. Okay. Well, we are really glad that you have joined forces with us over here. We are in the UK. The intention for Facfo is that we do actually make alliances with funeral directors all over the world from the African and Caribbean backgrounds. And I'm proud to say that you are the first country that we have actually been able to make a strong connection with. You actually got in contact with us for the first time. So how did you find us and what were your thoughts when you came across Facfo?
I was actually looking for black funeral directors around the world, Association of Black Funeral Directors around, which is, I still do, because I'm also looking at America, also other African countries, because our organization only focus on our region, which is the SADC region.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm planning to connect all black undertakers around the world with the help of Facfo, of course, because Sacu and Facfo have a connection.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Strong connection.
Another thing that really interests me is the religious and traditional and cultural ritual basis that finds itself affiliated with the whole death ritual, I suppose, the whole experience of death. And through finding people throughout the earth who are of African and Caribbean descent, my intention is to revive or reinstate some of those rituals, traditions, beliefs, and cultures that were perhaps lost during the transatlantic slave trade. And I think that through that, we can restore our strength and a lot of our personal truth and wisdom. When it comes to South Africa, what is the main seat of religion over there?
Firstly, if you are black, whether you are in Jamaica or in America or wherever, you are African. As long as you are black, you are African. You must know that. Yes, religion plays a part in our burials. So is culture. So obviously, before we go bury somebody, there's a church service.
Okay.
Yes, that goes on. And then from there, then cultural things come in. as we take you to the graveyard.
Okay. So the Western religion comes first, and the
Yes.
traditional comes after or follows.
Yes, because people also believe in God in South Africa.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's really interesting to know. And again, also in the UK, the religion does seem to be quite significant. And so it's not unusual to have a religious service for somebody who has never actually been a religious person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what happens. I mean, even if you've never been to church, but I promise you, day of your funeral, there will be a church service there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because we also believe that you are going to heaven.
Okay.
But as much as we believe that, Veli, please, as much as we believe that you are also going to your ancestors.
Okay. Right. So both beliefs are held sort of side by side,
Yes.
heaven and the ancestors.
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right. So moving back to the actual relationship between yourselves and ourselves, when you contacted Facfo, what did you envision for the future, just out of interest?
Like I said before, I want to connect all Black Undertakers around the world. That's what I'm trying to do. Hence, every time we speak, and I'm glad lately we speak every day, and I love it. You see? So I think what we're trying to do, it will happen quicker, quicker, because now we speak every day. So yeah, I contacted Facfo because I wanted to make contact with other funeral directors around the world, especially Black.
Yeah.
What attracted me to Facfo was the African part. So I said, oh, okay, maybe these are my people, let me contact them. So fortunately, yes,
Yeah.
you are Black like us.
Yes, we find ourselves on the same page
Yes.
completely with regards to our intentions for the future and our intentions for our people as well.
Yes.
I want it to be publicly noted that we are in allegiance with you, and so we support you in your endeavours to get the government to change their policies and to enhance the state of education around dying, death, and grief within South Africa. And then eventually, of course, in all African states and nations and countries, and of course, throughout the earth. Death is very important to us. And I think that even if we are not in contact with our original selves, I do believe that there is something within us that knows that perhaps death is not the end, or that this is something very serious.
Yes, it's true. We also believe that death is not the end, because also as part of our culture, like today it was a holiday. If most people went to the graveyard to visit their loved ones.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is our culture.
Okay.
That we go to the graveyard, like I said, we speak to the dead as Black people, because we believe they are our ancestors. We believe in life after death as Africans.
Okay. Okay. So today is the 16th of June, 2022. Would you be able to just explain the significance of today in South Africa for us?
46 years ago, that's the day I was born. Today it's my birthday. My name is Ntantla. So that means a direct translation in English, lucky.
Lucky.
So when I asked my mom why they called me Lucky Ndlandla, and she tells me that it's the doctor who gave me that name. Because that day, what happened in this country was the saddest day ever. Students took to the street. They didn't want to be taught in Afrikaans. So they decided to march peacefully so. But then the government of the day did not like what the students were doing. And then they started shooting. So a lot of school kids as young as 12 years were killed on that day. So this is a very, very sad and significant day in our country.
Okay. The sad thing is that we are not always aware in the Western world of the things that have happened on the continent. We don't get to hear half of it. And because we are not aware, that's often where the division is often sort of enhanced, because we simply don't know. For you to explain that to me originally, that was quite a significant event in South Africa, and it's caused me to wonder how many other episodes have our people experienced that have been completely obliterated from any awareness outside of that, even that African country. And that is another reason why I think that Facfo needs to be in operation, so that we can know the depth of treatment that has been experienced throughout the world and seek to change and turn it around. Sorry.
Yeah, you know, we've experienced, excuse me, such days for a while in South Africa. After 1976, when this happened, I would tell you that every year, June 16, until we got liberated, there were riots. Because white people did not want us to celebrate or to commemorate this day. You see, so before we were liberated, Black people always on this day, they would revolt. You see, I remember, I think it was 1985, we were shifted out of Soweto in Johannesburg to Natal, because there were riots then again, you know, 1985, June 16, there were riots again.
Right.
But then after democracy and everything, the day now is called Youth Day, solely because it was the youth who lost their life.
Yeah.
So it's Youth Day. It's meant to encourage youth now, you know, to do positive things.
Okay.
You know, so the whole month of June in South Africa, it's a youth month.
Okay. And so I have to ask, with June, the whole of June being Youth Month, and the 16th of June in particular being rebranded
Youth Day.
Youth Day, yep. Where did that name, where did it originate from? Was it given by the government, or was it the people that decided to call it Youth Day and for June to be Youth Month?
I think it's the government. It's the new government that came in and took over.
Okay.
Changing the day to Youth Day it's their thinking, but yeah, we support it and we understand why is it called Youth Day and June Youth Month.
Right. Okay. Okay.
As August is Women's Month.
Ah, okay. So we will definitely be having another session in August then. That would be lovely if we could speak to some of your female funeral directors at that time.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
do you have many female funeral directors?
Lots.
Okay.
Lots. The pictures that I have been sending to you, you can see that there's ladies.
Yeah.
So we have lots of female, and we also have youth-owned funeral parlors. As you can see on Facebook, I've been, highlighting them.
Yes.
yes.
I have noticed that they are very young.
Very young.
And that is something that we are also keen to instigate in the UK, because this is a career for life.
Yes, yes, it's a career for life.
And it's recession proof.
Yes, and it's a very lucrative career.
Yep. Okay. And people will always pass away.
People will always pass away. The funeral business is just like the crash business. People will always have babies, and people will always die.
So how do you go about getting such young people, or what motivates them in South Africa to be funeral directors? It's such a taboo subject over here in the UK. And this is something that we have been wondering. How do we encourage more youth to be involved in the death industry?
Yeah, no, I really, to be honest, I wouldn't know the others what motivated them to be in this industry. But as for me, because also I started as a youth. When I started my company, that was like 12 years ago. I was young,
Right.
Yeah. I got inspired by my father, my friend's father. So he had they still have that funeral parlor in the Free State, another province in South Africa.
Okay.
So my friend took us there one weekend, and we were driving hearses as youngsters, as young as 16. We were driving hearses. So from that day, I knew that one day I'm going to be an undertaker. So again, big ups to Mr. Msiako. May his soul rest in peace. He passed away last year. I'm a bit sad because I wanted to tell him that he was my inspiration, and I didn't get the chance. But I always tell my friend, his son, that his father was my inspiration. I say this in each and every interview I do, because I do a lot of interviews, and they always ask how you started. So that's how I fell in love with this industry.
Okay.
Mr. Musiako, Mr. Winston Musiako was my role model. That's how I got involved into this industry.
And his son, Winston's son, did he take on the family business?
Yes, he runs it now.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, very good friend of mine. I mean, we've been friends since we were like 16 as teenagers till today.
Okay. So when it comes to Sacu,
yes,
what was it that made you decide to stand up and unify your South African brothers and sisters?
Okay. Again, what inspired me to start that? There's a friend of mine. One of our meetings, he will come. A very fiery character. I had never met this guy before, so I watched on the news And then he says, in our township, no white or Indian undertakers will operate here, starting now. And then I said, wow, you know, and well, I did not see the interview, but somebody saw it and they posted it in an association group.
Right.
And they were against that. And I said, no, that's my man. That's my man. This man is right. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Fortunately, you know, like faith, you know, it's something else. 3 days down the line, there's a government parastatal, which is CETA, which is the one we're negotiating with right now to help us with these courses we're planning. They call us, they want to design embalming curriculum.
Okay.
So we have to come in and help there. So as we were there, boom, here's this guy. Yeah, you see. So he comes in and it straight comes sit next to me.
Aye.
You know, hey, when we started chatting. And then, yeah, as we were busy doing this, we did this maybe almost a year.
Okay.
But every time we went there, he would sit next to me, you know, we would. So I saw, oh, this guy is like me.
Yeah.
You see, but then I had started another forum before, wasn't successful.
Okay.
You see, then I decided that no, let me start another one again. So I started it, inspired by Muzihlengwa. You see, I started it inspired by him because I liked what he was doing. Then I thought to myself, okay, this one is got his own association. So his focus is on this association. Now, I want something that will include everybody from different associations now.
Yes.
You see,
yes.
That's how Sacu was born. Well, initially we were not called Sacu, we were called Undertakers Network, if I'm not mistaken. But then there was another white person who wanted to hijack the whole thing. He went on to register that Undertakers Network. Then we did not agree with them. We said, no. We chased the white men away. Then we renamed ourselves South African Chamber of Undertakers. You know, as then it went on, then I noticed that at some point we had a challenge. One of the undertakers got arrested in a foreign country, which is Mozambique. Then I said to myself, we should have members in Mozambique. You know, maybe this South African chamber should be southern.
Yes.
When we say southern now, we include neighboring countries because that's where we operate. You know, in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Lesotho, you know, Eswatini, those are neighboring countries.
Okay.
So that's why we changed from South Africa to Southern to accommodate our neighboring brothers. That's how then now we are called Southern African Chamber of Undertakers.
Okay.
We are 2 years or three. We are 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
We are 3 years, and I'm proud to say the first ever match Undertakers in the history of South Africa was done by us.
Congratulations.
You know? Yes. And then after that, everybody followed, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to pay respect to my friend. You know, I never tell him this, you know, but he has awakened the funeral industry.
Perfect.
Yes. When we talk about pro black.
Yeah.
That is him. You know, he's also a president of a political organization called African People's First.
Okay.
Because he believes that we should come first now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now, I know that every year you have also been having and endeavoring to have conferences as well.
Yeah, we started last year.
Okay, so last year was the first.
Was the first, yes. So hopefully this year we're going to have a second one.
Okay. At some point, Facfo looks forward to coming over to meet both yourself and the inspiration behind Sacu, to salute you and say thank you for the work that you're doing. My belief is that we have a long road ahead of us, that we are all ready to walk together. And it will be a pleasure to walk side by side with you, my brother.
No,
okay.
Definitely, my sister. Me too, you know, it would be a pleasure for us to walk side by side and connect all Black Undertakers, be it in Jamaica, be it in America, in Nigeria, you know, because I've also made some connections in Nigeria. There's a couple of Nigerian Undertakers who belong to us, although they are not the southern part of Africa, they're in the west of Africa, but then, hey, why not?
Okay.
Because the whole point is to unite the continent. And the continent is free now. We are no longer colonized, but the continent is suffering. We need economic freedom as a continent, because it's of no use South Africa to be economically free while their neighbors are suffering. That would cause them to jump to South Africa.
Yeah.
So Africa as a whole needs economic freedom.
I want to get some perspective. I want to, let's understand from a Western perspective, the distances that we're talking about. When you mentioned South Africa and West Africa, between South Africa and Nigeria, for example, how long are we talking in journeying if we were to make that journey?
I've never been to Nigeria, but I have friends who've been to Nigeria, especially the Christians one, you know.
Okay.
There's a lot of pastors that they go to Nigeria. So they tell me they fly 24 hours from South Africa to Nigeria. So I think it's quite far.
Did you say 24 hours?
Yes, because apparently, like I said, I've never been there. I'm told. Apparently, they flew to London, then Nigeria. Yes.
Okay. The reason why I asked that question is just so that we can understand the ways in which we are kept divided, the ways in which our desire to be united is circumvented by those who do not look like us. We have challenges, but they can actually be overcome.
Yes, they can. Our problem as Black people started in 1884 in Berlin, Germany. When they
1884 in Berlin, in Germany.
Yeah.
Can you enlighten me?
Europeans had a conference called Berlin Conference there, where they wanted peace to avoid fighting amongst themselves for the ownership of Africa. So that's when the borders that we have were instilled. Because yes, as you can see, in Africa we speak English, French, and Portuguese. We were all colonized by all these people.
Mm.
You see, so they had a conference in Berlin and decided that, okay, now I'm gonna take South Africa, I put border here. I'm gonna take Mozambique, I put border here. I'm gonna take this one. So that's where the borders started, and they made sure that they divide us. As a result, in South Africa, we have a problem of Afrophobia. They call it xenophobia. I say it's Afrophobia because their focus is on black illegal immigrants, where else we also have white illegal immigrants. But I have hope. Africa will unite because a united Africa is too powerful. And that's what they don't want. You see, because Africa is suffering, but we have all the minerals owned by Americans and Europeans. I don't understand how. I don't understand how.
Okay. Yeah, these borders are man-made and they're not African man-made. And so in theory, they don't actually have to be respected or adhered to. It takes...
That's my belief.
Yeah. It just takes the education and awakening of a people to come to that realization on the whole.
Yeah, the thing is, these people that don't look like us, they're very strategic. They will never tell the truth. They will never give the right history, because it's better for them, for us, if we fight. You see, yesterday, I'm in this lots of social media. On TikTok, I saw a white woman saying she hates racists, and she says they don't understand what Black people go through. They've never suffered. They've never been denied entry to anywhere because of the skin color. You see, so she hates racists, and I say, oh, this white woman, and just now before we have this interview, I was watching the news. Very old white man holding a gun, stamping on a 16-year-old black child today. You see, so this never stops. This never stops. It happens all the time to us, and we must stomach it. You see, but if that was done to a white child,
it's war. It's all out war. Yes. Overnight.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's war. So I believe white supremacy must fall anywhere in the world. Well, it's hard in Europe. It's their place. They are a majority. But their dominance, even here in Africa, is there. And we can feel it. That white dominance is still around. 28 years after freedom, Black people are still suffering.
Yeah.
Nothing much has changed.
Yeah.
I mean, our people still use pit toilets in some areas,
Yeah.
It's 2022 right now.
Yeah. I think that we find ourselves in a time of great change. And I think that the coming years are going to be revelations for us all that will demystify our eyes and allow us to take back our strength and our innate wisdom and knowledge. I believe that this will happen, maybe will be instigated through the loss of lives as we rise up and reclaim what is rightfully ours and our position. And so it is best that we formulate now and just be in place for when those times do come, because they will. As they say, everything has a time. And so those powers that be, they've had their time. Their time is up. And whilst they expect us to retaliate in the way that they dominated us through hatred, we have both discussed this. It's not in our nature to hate or to retaliate in such a way.
No, we don't do that.
And so all we have to do is formulate, come together and work as one, united, regardless of any apparent barrier. Let them melt away because they don't exist.
No.
And so in line with what you have said earlier on, every Black person, every melanated person, everybody, we are all descendants of Africa, regardless of where we were taken, regardless of where we were dropped along the way, regardless of the migrations and the journeys we have made. We all must recognize that we are all from the same one continent.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I will be concluding this interview, but I just want to ask you a question, really, with regards to the name Africa. What are your thoughts? Because we understand that it's a name that was actually a white man's name, a Mr. Africa. Personally, I have been told that the land is called Alkebulan and wishes to be called Alkebulan, and that as long as we do not acknowledge her as Alkebulan, nothing will prosper on that land for those people, for us. What are your thoughts? There are some people who will refer to Africa as Kemet. As a South African, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, also, because of what it's been happening here. So once you say Africa, they call us the dark continent, right?
The dark continent, yeah.
Yes. So I prefer to call it motherland.
Motherland.
Yes. Okay. It's the first time I hear what you calling it. I'm not sure about that, but I call it motherland. As in my country.
Yeah.
I call it Azania, which is South Africa. So this is what I always tell people. Our country doesn't have a name. It's in the south of Africa.
Mm. Mm.
You see? So it's our geographical location, not our name.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
I call it Tanzania. But yeah, that's a lot of things change in this country of ours. Well, and as Africa as a whole, we need to change the perception that Africans are suffering. Not suffering. They make us suffer.
Yes.
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 They make us suffer. They take from us our minerals and everything and come back and sell them very expensive. And we buy from them.
So are there any messages or is there anything that you would like to say as we bring this interview to a close?
My plea to all Black Undertakers in the world, please, 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 let's come together and work together and improve each other so that we can achieve economic freedom. because as Black people, we are suffering worldwide. So we need economic freedom as Black people, especially in Africa, because we are suffering here. So that's my plea. That's my parting shot.
Okay.
Black power, please. Black power.
This is how it comes about. It really is. And we look forward to, as I've said, walking with you on this journey, marching with you on this journey, bringing together all of our African funeral undertakers and operatives. We at Facfo are looking for everybody who does the work, whether it be from end of life, right the way through to the end of grief. And, you know, I've been saying if there is such a thing as an end of grief, but I can assure you there is an end to grief. There can be an end to grief if we work together, if we come together and recognize where the origin of our grief is seated. We can only do that if all of the pieces of the jigsaw come together. Then we will have before us the whole story and we can start to heal. So once again, I'd like to say thank you, brother. If anybody wants to get hold of you directly, can you give us your details, please?
Yes. You can get hold of me at my email, sachamberofundertakers277@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or we can connect on Facebook, Southern African Chamber of Undertakers, or on Twitter, Sacu @Sacu on Twitter.
And you're on TikTok as well?
And on TikTok as Rainy Days Holding.
Rainy Days Holdings. Okay.
Yes.
Easier to find us at our website, which is www.facfo.org, Federation of African and Caribbean Funeral Operatives.org. If you come to the website, then there are ways on there that you can contact us, and we look forward to working with you and being of service to you as we grow. At the moment, Facfo is a directory, and we are looking to build that directory, to grow that directory. We are interested in joining you all, and we are interested in joining with our brothers and sisters throughout the earth. We have got so much planned at Facfo for our positive future. Come and join us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.